Y'all ain't feeling me on this. All night, can't sleep, too hurt, too weak, got to call up.
We still trying to work it.
Oh, I hear you.
Okay. All right. What's going on, you guys?
Hey, we're doing well, brother.
Hey, Zina. Good evening. What's up?
What's going on, brother?
Hey,
We're
man, doing good. Doing good.
We're so happy to have you on the show, my brother. This is just a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Absolutely. Now, I don't think we got a chance to play together. I heard your name in circles, but I don't think we got a chance to play when you were out here ever. Now you're in Atlanta now?
I'm in Atlanta now. I've been here for a little more than a year.
Okay, how do you like it out there?
He moved out of Oakland. Can you believe it? In Vallejo, in the Bay Area, he just left. I mean, Felton, really?
Well, my first stop was Las Vegas. I was there for almost 3 years. So hey, it had to go where the work is. So
Amen.
Were you on a pole at all in Vegas?
A pole?
Yeah, Vegas. I'm just curious. You said the money was good out there, so I didn't know what you were doing.
Okay. I got hired to be a music director for one of the shows out there in Las Vegas called Motown Extreme. So that
that's tight.
Tied me up for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's great.
A lot of fun and educational and challenging. I love challenges. Yeah.
Now, what about and now my experience with Vegas was the Bay has a certain kind of spirit to it, and Vegas for me it seems synthetic. It had it's just like a city on a desert, which is like literally what it was. So I just I didn't feel very inspired there. But how did you do that?
I think I was very fortunate. The people who I ran into were very open, sharing people. For the most part, I didn't experience, what I believe I heard you just say. But no, I was fortunate, I think.
That's good. That's good. I guess I haven't stayed there a long period of time. I just kind of brushed through, but that's good. Cool. So how long did you live here in the Bay? I mean, did you there must have been a portion of time you lived here, haven't you?
Well, yeah. Well, from the time I was 5, which was 1957, and then Con Funk Shun left the Bay Area in 1972 to move to Memphis for 6 years. Then we returned back to Vallejo in 1978.
Wow. So now when I was looking at your history, you guys were together a few years and then were, kind of blew up. And within a few years, you guys were on like Mercury Records. You guys are blowing up like pretty quickly. Was it a longer process than we saw? I mean, was it like a couple years or was it like a long process?
No, I say long is relative. So, it,
That's right.
When we left Vallejo in 1972, August 4th, we were the backup band for a group called Soul Children, one of the Stax recording groups, right?
Right.
3 weeks later, we were doing the Wattstax Festival down in LA. So in front of 104,000 people while recording a live album and filming a movie at the same time. We stayed working with them for about 2 years and then struck out on our own. And that's how we ran into the people who pretty much guided us into Mercury Records. We got a record deal with we had gotten involved with a recording studio and a producer named Ted Sturgis, right?
Right.
And here's the whole story how that happened. So Ted, we were supposed to be there to do one recording. He said, "Oh, you guys need to come back and do some more recording." And he just kept inviting us back. And we didn't know he was charging us, He up and one day he said, "Okay, we need to talk about you guys' bill."
Oh, no, you didn't. No, he didn't.
Bill? No, you didn't say bill. I mean, we thought, you just being like, oh no, this is a business. And and here's your bill for $10,000. We don't have $10,000. Oh, well, I just happen to have this recording contract. And if you say And if you sign this recording contract, y'all don't have to worry about $15,000.
Oh my God.
But I saw, I actually saw an interview of you on what was it, Soul Beat or what was in the Bay Area? It was Soul Beat, and you were telling that story, and I went, that's the music business, I swear.
Yeah. But the good news is that had he not done that, we wouldn't be sitting here talking now. Because what happened as a result of that, he's the one who arranged for us to get signed with Freetone Records. And then he invited the people from Mercury Records to come down and see us perform at the club. And we got signed as soon as they came down south to the club. So he was instrumental to getting us signed to Mercury Records.
Wow.
So that was huge. So, and when we were signed to Freetone Records, we were still called Project Soul, and they were uncomfortable with the name Soul in the name. So they figured they thought it would be too limiting.
I gotcha.
So they had us change our name. And so we got the name Con Funk Shun. You guys remember the Nightlighters?
I'm not familiar with them, but
the Nightlighters were the backup band for New Birth, right?
Okay.
And they had out an instrumental jam called KG. Right? Big instrumental hit. And one of their songs on the album was a song called Con Funk Shun.
Oh, you gotta be kidding.
So we just, I'm gonna say borrowed. we just I mean, because after 2 months of argument, that was the only thing we could agree on. And so then, you just call themselves Con Funk Shun. Now they were upset. They were bothered about soul. They were okay with the word funk. Good.
That's so bizarre. That's so bizarre to me.
So so what I heard was Michael Cooper was sitting by the pool with them, right? And that's how they were rehearsing their songs.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, they were rehearsing that song, and they were rehearsing it so much that when we're sitting back listening, we learned it just by listening to them play it, and then we started playing it.
So then, but then you have you had a band that was yours, right? And it was called The Second Movement.
Right, and that actually was my second band, and so that was what 17, 18,
Wow.
and the drummer's father pulled him out because he had bad grades.
Oh man.
And so rather than hunt for a new one, I just disbanded the group. And Michael heard that my group had broke up, and at that point we were competing bands in Vallejo, in Vallejo, competing bands in Vallejo. And he came over and asked me, "Hey man, I heard your group broke up, man. You think you might want to join us?" And I'm like, "I'll give it some thought." Yeah.
I actually found a picture of you back in that has your picture on it.
Oh my!
I don't know if you want to see it or not, but
so I had a bunch of hair and a 24-inch waist. I bet
Yes, and I have it right here.
Oh shoot!
Because I did some research, so this is what I found.
There's something wrong with her. I'm sorry, man.
The only thing that's missing is a fireplace and a shag rug.
That's pimp status. Pimp status.
That's classic.
No, I just want you to know I had nothing to do with that. I had nothing to do with that. I just want to let you know that she did. Oh, you are so bad. So you mentioned something earlier that I find fascinating is that when you're trying to pick a name, they're constantly thinking about all of the different aspects of the marketing, which is really fascinating. Because some people just think, oh, you just come up with a name, but you're thinking of, like they said, hey, soul might limit you. We want you to be able to be marketable for everybody.
Right,
So,
right.
so that must have been, kind of a, hardship to try to find a name after they said they put it out.
Yeah. And like I said, the name Con Funk Shun was just a fluke. We weren't focused on the word funk. It was just something we could agree on, which reminds me of the story that Lionel Richie told me a long time ago about when they were arguing about how to pick the name Commodores, right?
Right.
They went through the same thing of like, we can't decide on anything. Man, what are we gonna say? And they argued and they argued. And according to Lionel, what they decided to do was to take a dictionary, just let it fall to the floor, put your finger on a word or random, and no more arguments. That's it. He said,
Wow.
he said, thank God we were almost called the Commodes.
That's classic. Oh, that would have been good.
Yeah, we went through this whole thing, and we had a big discussion of whether or not to put the word "the" at the beginning and an S at the ending, and we decided not to do that.
Con Funk Shun, just that. Yeah. Now, I was curious about how did your process in the means of writing the songs? Was it one person wrote all the lyrics? Was there some, or did you guys all come together and, together, or was it just you and Michael, or who are the people that were writing the music?
We got together as a group and actually wrote maybe 2 songs.
Okay.
Maybe 2 songs.
Oh, so just 2.
Right. The rest of that was either Michael or myself, or Michael and myself.
Got it.
Usually, I would write a track, and Michael would, either he or Naira would have lyrics for it. It was very rare that Michael came up with some music that I could put lyrics to. It was usually for instance, Misgot the Body is like that. Love's Train is like that. Got to Be Enough is like that. I wrote the track, and Michael said, "Hey man, I got a good idea for some lyrics. Give me a copy of that." And he took it home, come back, and
So you guys had that nice teamwork. Now, one of my favorite tracks of yours is Fun. F.
Right.
Everybody loves that song.
Greasy, super. I mean, and the Bay is kind of known for its funk, but that tune right there just exemplifies the Bay Area, the Bay Area funk. It was so greasy. Was that one of your tunes, or
no? Michael wrote that one.
Oh man.
And he'll tell you it was heavily inspired by Brick. He borrowed the concept of the band singing and group singing unison vocals,
right,
and a flute solo, and so he borrowed that concept for the song, and then just came out, wrote a song based on that concept. And so,
that is beautiful. I can actually hear some Commodores influence in your guys' band, as well as Earth, Wind and Fire. I mean, I hear all kinds of stuff in there.
Okay. Well, here's why. Every pop musician is a blending of everyone that they've listened to.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. And as a top 40 band, we played a lot of Commodores. We played a lot of Earth, Wind and Fire. We played a lot of Ohio players.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Mandrill?
I've heard that name before.
Mandrill. They're very popular on the East Coast, and we got hip to them while we were in DC, right? And so they put out a record, and we learned 3 or 4 of the songs, and we were playing in Memphis before anyone had ever heard it. And then people actually write that. I'm like, yeah, that's my song. Yeah, that's
you claimed it.
Right.
That's beautiful.
But wait a minute. And we played a lot of OJs and spinners and stylistics. And so, speaking for me personally, all that became part of me and what I do. So when I sit down, I'm thinking, okay, this needs to have a blah, blah, blah kind of feel to it. I can pull from all that, and
Oh yeah.
that's
Just
part of my
a
creative
great,
process.
great era of music, just in general. I think the '70s, and especially at the end of the '70s, when you had like the Angela Bofields, man, talk about just incredible orchestrations. Just
Yes.
you know, uh,
Mhm.
it's an era that, and then it kind of went into the '80s, and I don't know what the hell happened. It's like, oh, the people start changing their hair and crimping, and I said, what?
I was one of those people. I had lace, everything, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Well, we had the greats in there, but I'm just saying in general, what I saw on MTV, I was like, oh my God, what happened?
I'm curious because I've known Felton forever, but when did you meet my family?
In the process of doing the first album.
Really?
We have not done any one of our albums except for the first one without at least one member of your family playing on it.
Oh wow.
That's a fact. And so I think Skip, our producer, reached out to someone, and I don't remember how it happened, but that's been the connection since 1977.
Wow, that's incredible.
And,
did you know from the first day that we were a crazy family?
Well, I knew Sheila had her own bubbliness, but it didn't become obvious until Pete went on the road with us. Yeah, Pete is just like, off the chain, and I got all my best jokes from him. So Pete, yeah, but you guys are fun. I mean, everyone in your fan, and when I finally got a chance to meet your dad, I'm like, oh, I see it now. Okay, I get it.
Right? Comes from the top. We love you, Felton. That's why.
Yeah.
You are a great guy.
Now you guys had a little hiatus for a little while, and then you got back together and started playing together. Is that true?
Right. I quit the group briefly in 1986. During that time, that's when I hooked up with Stanley Burrell.
Okay.
When he was calling himself the Holy Ghost Boy. He and his partner, they call themselves the Holy Ghost Boys. And I met him through a guy named Fred Pittman, who used to work over at Fantasy Records. He was heading the New Volt label. As a matter of fact, Fantasy Records has signed me, my assistant engineer, James Early, and Holy Ghost Boys all at the same time. All of us were signed to Fantasy at the same time. Wow. And they let us all go at the same time.
Wow, really?
Because they had no idea know what to do with us. And Holy Ghost Boys were doing gospel, Christian flavored rap music, and they're like, we like it, but we don't know how to market this stuff. So then when the three of us hooked up after getting released from Fantasy, well, that's how that first album came about, the Let's Get It Started album. We sold 2 million copies, and Fantasy's like, dang it.
I missed that one.
So tell me this, when back in the day when you were making these records, how much freedom did you have to really like be completely artistic, or was the label kind of like micromanaging? Because I see that in the present day, it's hard to kind of be a unique.
They were not micromanaging at all. Once we got assigned a producer, and in the traditional style producers they get the final word, and you have to have had a reputation for making good records. So Skip, having worked with Earth, Wind and Fire, he co-wrote Can't Hide Love. He wrote Don't Ask My Neighbor by The Emotions. He did Love Ballad by LTD. He had something to do with Grazing the Grass. He was doing some work with Friends of Distinction. And so they relaxed. They're like, okay, well, we trust his judgment. He's getting paid to hand us in good party. So, they were not micromanaging at all.
That's amazing.
And Skip was a wonderful guy to work with.
I imagine.
Great Mr. Hill.
It's unheard of now. You got to fit into some kind of box. I mean, I just miss those days where you could. I mean, I was telling my son, who's 21, when MTV first came out, you could go a whole day and not see the same band twice. It was like music was popping there were premieres every hour, and now look at MTV now. It's like reality shows. I'm sounding like an old dude right now, but I mean, I just get frustrated. But yeah, it was just a different time, and there was like experimentation, and the labels would take a chance on an artist.
Oh yeah.
It was a great time to be an artist.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
And we know that you're always writing because you have some new stuff coming out, right?
Yes. I released a single last year. Called We're Still Here. And it got re-released this year. Somehow the message caught on, and of especially during the COVID thing, right?
Yeah.
And people started relating to we're still here. It's actually doing quite well. I think I just got to record this number 6 in Canada, so I'm
nice.
It was number 8 I think it's the highest number 8 in Italy, and it's getting airplay in Germany, England, France, Italy. Everywhere except the Bay Area. Anyway, so I've got another song called "Waiting Just to Dance" is going to be released right after Christmas. Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome to hear. Now, speaking of producing, you worked with MC Hammer.
Yes.
This is something you personally did on some of his biggest records. I mean, his biggest hits. That was you.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That was the guy, the Holy Ghost boy, the Stanley Burrell.
Gotcha.
That's who I was referring to.
Gotcha.
And so we did that. We talked about that at least once. I'm like, dude, I'm feeling, and I respect where you're coming from. That name might not work for you, but we went and did the recording, and I looked up one day, and I remember saying, "Hey man, the record went gold." Great, what record? Man, that record we did. man, that was a demo, and you were supposed to come back and let me fix it up. No, man, record company liked it just like it is, and wrote me a check for $2 million.
$2 million. Oh my God.
My new name was MC Hammer. My new name was MC Hammer.
Wow, that's amazing to have that. Yeah. Just to have that. And so you ended up working with him on more stuff after that, or did you?
Well, yeah, we did the first album, and the Please Hammer Don't Hurt Him. So I wound up producing Can't Touch This and Too Legit to Quit.
That's amazing. That's some serious heavyweights right there, man. That's great.
Yeah. Wow. Man, I have to say, man, that was probably the most exciting 3 years of my life to date, man. That was,
I can't imagine.
We had a chance to tour the world, and in addition to producing the album, I was also his music director. So I was also out on tour with him. And on the Too Legit to Quit tour, I know that we took we had their Earth, Wind and Fire horn section playing with us.
Oh,
tell the audience that hopefully they're listening to this when we get it out, and I'm sure they will. What is the experience of being in front of an audience that huge?
Yeah.
I mean, give people an insight of what it's like to be like.
Okay, well, I have to take you back to that gig on August 22nd, 1972. Yes. I mean, we had done school dances, we had done some nightclubs and opening the showcase. We did the showcase, And I think we did one gig as a backup band for someone at the Oakland Auditorium, which is so what, 5,000-6,000?
Right.
But then all of a sudden, like I said, we're playing in front of 104,000 people.
Mm.
And we're talking about folks. Oh, wait a minute. And on this particular day at the Watts Music Festival, you know, Stax joined with them. Stax provided the entertainment in exchange for allowing them to record the album, and about that was the deal. So we have 104,000 people who got in for free, and wait a minute, and you know how we are, and it's free. So the energy was like, you're talking about people came ready to party. Man, it was so the energy was just like amazing.
Wow.
So then once I got with Hammer, so at that point I had already experienced it, and as Con Funk Shun doing our own had tours, we were doing stadiums and coliseums, but I think the largest audience we played for with Hammer was 50,000 people at the Tokyo Dome, and it was and that was a whole nother, that honestly was a whole nother kind of energy that was just. Yeah.
So you're trying to you're feeling this wall of energy coming at you, and it's almost like you're probably forgetting lyrics, like you're trying to keep your composure. You know what I mean? It's like
right. Well, at the Wastax gig, like I said, we'd only been with the group for less than 3 weeks, right?
Oh,
wait a minute! And not only are we playing for the Soul Children, we're also playing for Rufus Thomas.
Oh Lord!
And and Rufus Thomas, and I'm sure you can find the video on YouTube of us. He had on some pink hot pants. Yeah, he had on pink hot short pants outfit with some long white socks and some white shoes. Right.
Go ahead.
And that's when, because it was during his show that the people just couldn't contain themselves anymore. And they broke down the fence and ran out onto the field just to dance.
Wow, that's amazing.
We're not going to cause any harm. We're talking just to dance.
Wow. I miss those days. Yeah. Where people they didn't shoot nothing up. You just went and had fun. I just love it. I love hearing that. I that was my fond memories of growing up at that time. It's just people had fun,
Yeah.
I loved the music. Man, this is incredible. So can you tell us a little bit about the members of the band? I know we did one with EQ, Eric EQ.
Yeah.
Phenomenal entertainer and bass player and all of the above. But can you tell us about all the members in the band right now that are?
Yeah, we have Brian Collier, who is, if I'm not mistaken, originally from the Bay Area. He's living down in Los Angeles now. I think he's played with Tony. At least I think he said he played with Maze. I don't remember, but he's been with us for quite a while. Ron Motown out of Stockton on saxophone. I've known him for like 20 plus years. And when our other saxophonist, Paul Mesa Horrell, had to retire, we just called in Ron, and Ron's been wonderful ever since. We still have our original trumpet player, Carl the Deacon Fuller. He's still with us.
Nice.
On keyboards, we stole the Barcay's keyboard player and music director to come play with us. His name is Kurt Casey Clayton. He's a Grammy Award winner.
Nice.
And just, I remember our first time playing with it. We had a kind Brian Carter out of the Bay Area, and Brian was our keyboardist, and he was having this, and he had to drop out suddenly. So Michael had gotten a hold of KC, and my first time meeting KC said he's there to play with us that night. No rehearsal.
Wow.
And my first time meeting him is him asking, "Hey man, I've been playing with keyboards with you tonight. What's that second chord in Let Me Put Love in Your Mind? That's a B minor 7 with raised 5. Okay. What's that other chord, that transition chord in Baby I'm Hooked? That's a C11 to a D11. Yeah, to D major 7. Okay, I got it. My next time seeing him is on stage. Wait a minute. Casey is so good, I forgot he was back there.
Wow.
It sounded like it was supposed to sound all along. So that's my story about Casey. He just
talent.
Just showed up and made it work.
So speaking of instruments, you play multiple instruments yourself, don't you?
I do. I was originally trained on trumpet in starting in 5th grade because I wanted to be a drummer. And then he said, well, no, we have too many drummers. Let's give you another instrument. Why don't you pick another instrument? How about trumpet? Okay. So
close, very close.
Yeah. So we're right on the same bit.
And I had piano lessons for a couple of years. Everything else is self-taught. I've taught myself how to play guitar. And when I came into Project Soul, they already had a guitar player, a trumpet player, and a keyboard player. So I purchased the trombone and started learning songs one at a time by ear, and just to help fill in the horn section. That pretty much covers it.
But then don't you also, do you know how to do magic?
Oh, she's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I do card tricks from time to time, or I'll wait a minute. I gotta tell you about this card trick I did on my girlfriend in Memphis, right? And so we're at her birthday party, right? And I picked out some cards. I shuffled them, and I had her pick a card, right? And then I said, now put the card in your pocket, and then we left it alone, right? About a minute later, her phone rings, and it says, and she answers her phone, and some voice says, "The card in your pocket is the 5 of clubs." She screamed. She screamed. Oh my! Oh, that was loud. Yeah.
So on stage, like if somebody doesn't, play a really good note, can you just make them disappear? Just I'm getting rid of you right now.
No. Oh, wait a minute. I do have to tell you this story about this one guy. I wished I had that ability. I don't know what his name is. All I know is that we were playing in Detroit. Now, I'm sorry. I got spoiled by my keyboard player, right? Hey, well, shoot, if he can come in and get it right on the first gig, first night, then I expect someone else should be able to. And so I asked him the same questions that Casey had asked me. Okay, do you know what that second chord is in Let Me Put Love in? He says, which one is that? And that's the one that's in, it goes to A minor, E minor, with the, yeah, right. Okay, well, what about the chord in Baby I'm Hooked? Which one is that? That's the one in D major. And I said, did you bother to learn the names of any of the songs? I mean, so if you're looking at songs, how do you know which song to play? He said, and I quote, "Well, by the time you have gotten to the second verse, I will have caught on."
You know that.
Are you sure it wasn't my brother?
Oh, you did it. You did it.
Oh.
All right. So just want to remind everybody we're on Bay Legends. We're here with the incredible Felton. Is it Pilate? You go by Pilate? Felton Pilate.
One of my great grandfathers decided that he no longer would keep the name that his slave owner father gave to him.
Amen.
So we decided we're gonna pick a new name. Open up New Testament, pick a random name right here.
Good God.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Where it came from? Yeah,
That's beautiful.
serious, true story. That's the origin of
That's beautiful, man. It almost sounds Cajun in a way. The pilot. You could almost say Pilate, or you could put a little.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it has like a Cajun sound to it. I love it. I think it's a great stage name. Great stage name. Yeah.
Oh! You know what? I'm the only Felton Pilate in the United States.
Oh, is that right? Period.
But I did find a Felton Pilate in France. And of
Boy,
course, I had to track him down. I'm like, this is too much of a coincidence. And I managed to track him down. I got his email. I sent him an email. And I told him what it was, and his response was, "The Felton Pilate." It turns out that he's a musician, and he saw my name and thought exactly as you said. He thought it was a cool stage name, so he wasn't trying to be me. He just adopted that as his stage name.
Oh, it's a stage name. Wow.
I'm like, man.
So I thought my name was really unique, and then you go to England and everybody's named Simon. Everybody's named Simon. So
Right.
that threw that out the window. But yeah, that's a phenomenal story about the name. The slave owner thing, that's deep right there, because I think a lot of times we are constantly searching for our origin. I'm still to this day trying to find. I have a white side of the family, Jewish heritage. We know all the way back before the Spanish Inquisition, but on my black side, we got maybe nations. We just lose track. There's no information. So it's important. It's important to kind of be able to find your roots. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's beautiful. Now I was thinking now some of the songs, I love these songs. Too Tight, Fun, and Electric Lady. These are the songs that just like, I didn't even know, I used to play these in bands. I didn't even know they were connected to Con Funk Shun. I just knew they were tight songs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I got excited when we were doing this. I'm like, oh man, I've been playing their tunes for years, and didn't make the connection. So any of these tunes, were these all Michael, or did you write some of these? Did you write Too Tight, or?
Michael wrote Too Tight, and we had a friend of ours named Gary Jackson, who's no longer with us, play bass on. Yeah, that's Gary on bass on
You're
Too Tight.
Kidding me? Is that right?
That's what gave the song that funk, gave it that groove. Electric Lady was actually written by, if I'm not mistaken, Larry Smith from Houdini, Houdini's producer, and Maurice Starr produced that for us.
You got to be kidding.
Sure.
So I have this funny story with Gary. We played a lot of different gigs, and we're playing on this cruise, it was like a little ship, and
right.
And we're all playing, and someone had dropped a pot sticker on the bench, and he was hungry, so he's sitting there jamming, and I go, no, he's not gonna. I was playing with Carl Carter on drums, and I go, no, and next thing I know, I turn around, and that thing's gone. He's chewing. He didn't care. He didn't even care where it came from. He was like, I gotta eat. And he ate the pot sticker right out. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that.
Ah, God. Okay.
Oh, yeah. And he could play the heck out of that bass, man. Boy, he was funky as hell. What an amazing loss we took from when he passed. But I got to say, man, this has been an amazing journey. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on with you right now. What's your, we got COVID obviously keeping us indoors, but what are you doing? You've been writing a lot, creating?
I've been, the new single I've been mentioning, I've hooked up with a company up in, who's now hired me to do several songs for them. One song, I'm getting airplay on two separate songs on Canadian radio. It's a song called Brighter Than This.
Nice.
Artist is named Edward R. Seeley. Zina, I think I sent you a copy of it. You know, take a listen to it. When you
Yeah,
get a chance.
we will.
And then I had a chance to turn around and work with the same artist, who then featured a guy I used to work with on the MC Hammer. He used to sing with one of the groups that Hammer signed was called Special Generation, and Kendrick was one of the lead singers. So I produced a song called "Here for You," which features Kendrick. So I've been doing that. I've been asked to write the music for a TV series which is being presented to Netflix, and I have a role in the TV series. So
Oh wow!
we were working on the script. We're working on the script on that this morning.
Wow!
It's been busy over here. You know.
Exciting.
Blessings all around.
There's a lot, and I still have clients come over. You know, they sit over in the corner with their mask on and stuff, and we get work done. Or people will send me just arrangements, and they need horn arrangements, and they'll send me the track of the horn arrangements in the back. So it's still been busy. You know.
Now, do you do your horn arrangements on the piano?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. You could kind of visually see it. I was talking to you ever work with Mike Rinta? He was, he was with Sly and the Family Stone, trombone player, but he was talking about how he worked all of his stuff out on the piano. It just kind of logically, it makes sense logically, to be able to hear the voices, right? But that's fascinating. So COVID has not really jacked you up a bit. You're still working.
I miss doing concerts, man. Ordinarily we'd be doing 35, 40 gigs here. I think we had 5 concerts this year. 5.
It's painful.
We did a virtual concert in Las Vegas, right? And so that was weird, performing to an empty audience. That was just
it's definitely not the same.
No, I mean, because we feed off the audience. Wait a minute. Hold on. Climax was on that show. They were over there, and Lakeside was on the show, right?
Oh man!
Now there were like a couple of people out in the audience, And wait a minute, I was sitting in the audience for Lakeside. They're one of my favorite bands. So I saw, I'm supporting the guys. They're like somebody say yeah. I'm like yeah. And then when we were on stage there, we were still a good. I can see there's 20 people out there, maybe 20 people. Half of them were Lakeside. Some of them had never seen us before.
Oh, that's
but yeah, that is not the same.
It's a strange thing. I did a couple of church gigs in the last few months. And it's really strange because you're trying to feed off of somebody. There's no spiritual connection there.
Yes.
And then the song ends, and then what do I do with my hands? Usually, it just feels bizarre. I think we're playing with. We're doing a Christmas show coming up with Sheila on the 18th at out in Fairfield, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yes, with the whole Escovedo family.
The whole Escovedo family. Now, one thing I want to say is, do you have a website or something that we can, turn people on to that you could mention?
For Confunction gigs and stuff, it's confunctionusa.com.
Okay.
My website, which hasn't been updated, I'll be nice and say a while, it's feltonpilate.com. But I'm doing updates on Facebook and Instagram, and since I am the only Felton Pilate, I'm so easy to find. It's just a shame, man. Just on any platform, type in my name and it's me.
There's only one of you, so that's it. Right? That's awesome. Well, we want to thank you, my brother, for giving us an hour of your time. And Zina, do you have anything you want to, hit him up? Any secrets you want to divulge on him or anything like that?
No, I'm just looking at this picture, just like It's just cute. It's just
Oh, Zina be wrecking folks.
Okay. Now,
it's all love, Felton. All love.
All that hair. When I was with Hammer, I'm gonna be honest with you, I had enough hair to where it actually in a ponytail. I had long hair. But then my sister got cancer, got breast cancer. And that was one of the reasons why I moved from the Bay Area around that time. Because I had a studio in Fremont, and when she told me she had gotten cancer, I literally closed down the studio and moved down to LA to go help her out. And so she's telling me that she has to go through chemotherapy, and she's upset now. She had a very positive attitude, but she was upset because she was told this was going to make her hair fall out, and she was concerned about how she was going to look with no hair. And I was said, look, I'm your big brother. I'm not going to lie to you. You've got a beautiful face, and trust me, you're going to look beautiful with a bald head. Really. As a matter of fact, on the day you shave your hair, I'll make you a deal. I'll shave mine too.
God bless you.
Wow.
The very next day, she went out and had her. I'm like,
give me a week? You couldn't give me a week? A couple of days?
Yeah, I know I said I'd do it, but not now. So I went from having long enough hair to tie back to this. It will not grow back.
I'll send you a wig in the mail, Felton.
Okay,
that's how much I love you.
It will not. But then I can't complain. I have to borrow a line from my manager, who says it's okay to be bald because when you're as good looking as I am, a little more face can't hurt. So.
Hey.
Now, Steve, before we let you go, we didn't touch on that. How many family members do you have? Do you have several? Are you one of many?
I have one remaining sister. My mother passed away this past summer. My father passed away in the late 90s. And my sister, that one sister, Pam, she died in 2001. So at this point, it's just me and my sister.
So you had two sisters and yourself, and then your parents. I'm sorry for your loss. Man, we just want to thank you for your time, my brother. And this has just been an honor, a true honor. Absolutely.
It's been great.
We're glad you had a good day.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no. Well, so we just want to say to all the folks, you have just listened to my boy Felton, and we are on Bay Legends, and he is one of the Bay Legends, and we are so glad we could shine a light on your career and your life. You've blessed us all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Love you guys. Love
Bye.
You. Okay. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Get y'all to join me on that song. Something I wrote for Con Funk Shun.